Ricardo Garcia. All right, you're up for jury trial.
Your Honor, I'm not ready for, to continue. I put a motion to dismiss and affect this counsel. And I think I have brought it up the last time I came, of the court, that I wasn't aware that I was indicted, and I was handed an indictment, but that day, and the last time that I came out, I feel like I wasn't given sufficient time to prepare, to any objection to the indictment. I wanted to go over the indictment and look over it.
All right, you can go back in the box and look over the indictment with your attorney, but let me explain something to you. Your attorney went to law school. If your attorney feels as though there's nothing wrong with the indictment, then they're not going to file any motions.
I understand.
In
I
regards to
understand that I didn't go to law school, but
No, I'm just saying
Yeah.
that this is an attorney.
yeah,
If they've gone over the indictment with you and they say there's not an issue with the indictment,
I understand.
then they're not going to file any motions.
Well,
as it
he
relates to
hasn't
the
gone over the indictment with me. And
All
that,
right, sit over in the box. He'll go over the indictment with you. All right.
so I can't, I don't have no confidence in.
All right. So what you can do is you can sit in the box with your attorney. Your attorney will go over the indictment with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Judge, there's also the mental health issue that that I mentioned earlier. I've learned that he's not taking his medication, he's hearing voice.
Okay.
And so I'd like to file a motion for mental health eval.
All right. Who's the prosecutor on Ricardo Garcia? Defense counsel is requesting a competency evaluation. So,
Sorry to interrupt you. I conferred with defense counsel earlier and I have no objection to his motion.
all right. So he's going to go back. The court is legally bound to give a competency evaluation when it's requested. So recall this back and we'll put it for jury trial. We'll put it for January 27th and see if the competency evaluation is completed. If it is, that's the date for your jury trial date.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
May I be excused?
You want to tell your client?
Yes, Judge, I would.
Sorry.
Right.
Sure.
I just want to say for the record, I understood what you just told me, and we had the opportunity to go over the indictment when I last came to court, when I found out I was indicted, and I was ushered out, and he explained to me that he was gonna come visit me. I've been incarcerated for 10 months already, and I have not had one visit from this man or had any written correspondence from him. He's given me 2 different numbers that I haven't been able to get a hold of. He told me he was gonna be out of town the last time that we talked for the holidays. So that's the reason why I figured he didn't answer the phone now. You asked him to go down and sit down with me over this indictment,
Mhm.
and he pulled up that mental health issue without coming to me and asking me, hey, you know what, I'm gonna ask for this motion to go in. Motion that I would have wanted to him to put in, we haven't discussed or gone over this indictment, and I've been indicted since August 15th. I wasn't known, this wasn't brought up to me till October. And he still hasn't gone over this indictment with me or discovery, so,
All right, so here's the
Okay.
thing. I'm going to take this process with you step by step.
okay,
If there's something that I tell you that you don't understand, just let me know. Okay? So this is based upon my
Yes,
experience
ma'am.
as a defense attorney.
Okay,
Sometimes, as a defense attorney, you don't know when your client has been indicted. And let me just tell you why. The reason why you don't know is because you're not his only client.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have attorneys who have 12 and 15 clients, sometimes more. So they don't go on your case and they don't look up every single day to see if you're been indicted.
Okay.
So sometimes what ends up happening is how they know you've been indicted is they receive a letter in the mail or card in the mail saying this case is set for today,
okay,
which means that the case has been indicted.
okay,
The prosecutor, they don't pick up the phone and call
Yeah.
your attorney and say, hey, just so you know, I'm taking your client's case to the grand jury tomorrow.
okay,
And then if the grand jury says, yes, there's enough evidence to hold them over for trial and we're going to indict it, the prosecutor normally doesn't pick up the phone and call every attorney that's on that list and say, hey, just to let you know, the grand jury indicted your client today. So sometimes the first time that a defense attorney will know, and this is not saying anything bad about the defense attorney, this is just the way it works. Sometimes they don't know that you've been indicted until they get a notice telling them they need to be in court because your court is set that day. And let me just tell you, with indicted cases, I won't know you've been indicted until it gets set on the docket.
Okay.
And I don't set it on the docket. It's done automatically through the computer system. So that's why he can't come to you and say, oh, by the way, you've been indicted. He knows you've been indicted when he's ordered to be in court. So he's here today, right? Now, the next step in the process in this court, I make sure everybody has all their discovery, and then I require the state to tender an offer. Once the state tenders an offer, then your attorney will let you know what the offer is. You can either accept it or reject it. I'm here all day. So if you don't want to accept it, that is fine. Then you'll be scheduled for a jury trial. So today is your jury trial date. Now, what holds up a jury trial? Sometimes maybe there's some new discovery that's been given. I don't have the defense attorney's requests continuances normally for that because it's not really their fault.
Yeah.
Now, if your attorney thinks that there are some mental health issues, what do I mean by mental health issues? They feel as though you don't understand what you're charged with, the consequences of the decisions you're making related to that charge, or if they see that maybe at the jail it says that you've been on mental health medication, they may say, maybe this person isn't competent. And once an attorney legally comes to the court and says, I believe this person needs to be evaluated to see if they're competent to stand trial, then that stops everything. And then what I have to do legally is I have to send notices out, send an order out saying, I want this person evaluated for competency, because it wouldn't be fair for an attorney to go to trial with the client and that client doesn't know the consequences of the decision he's making. And as someone who's accused of a crime, you have certain rights. You can make a decision on whether you want to testify or not. That's not your attorney's decision. Your attorney may advise you, but that's your decision. You can make a decision on whether you want to enter into a plea agreement or not. You can make a decision on whether or not you want to waive jury trial, but the waiver of the jury trial, the state has to agree to it as well. So your attorney has stated to the court that he believes there may be some competency issues here. So with that being said, legally, I must, and I will have a doctor come see you to evaluate you. And then we're going to come back, and we're coming back on January 27th, because that's the length of time it's taking to get evaluations done. I don't know if your evaluation will be completed by that time or not, but we will see.
I partially understand everything that you explained.
All right,
to me.
what
I
do you
wanna
not
say
understand?
Thank you.
Let me know.
What I don't understand is if I have certain rights, the way you expressed, and and his obligation to go over those indictments with me when he gets notice of it. Okay, so this is the second time that I've seen him. Now, it's been 10 months. We could have that's more than enough time, I feel. And 30, 45, 40 days since he got the indictment should be sufficient. He still hasn't gone through it with me.
Okay.
We've been sitting
Well,
there.
I tell you
So
what,
that's basically why I'm bringing up my loss of confidence in him and why I submitted the
Mr.
dismissal
Hardy.
in case I do lose in trial.
All right, Mr. Hardy, will you go over the indictment with him? I know that you've already said that you want a competency evaluation done, which will be done. But,
I'd be happy to, Judge.
all right, so he's gonna go over the indictment with you today. Listen to him, okay?
I will.
And then we're gonna bring you back on January 27th.
Okay. When will we go over, if I still feel the same way, over the
I'm always willing to hear that.
motion to dismiss and for the reason why I gave?
I'm always willing to hear
Okay.
that, but what I can tell you is normally what needs to happen is if you want a different attorney,
Yeah.
you have to hire one.
Yeah.
But he's willing to go over the indictment with you again, so he will do that.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.